Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Uncanny Spirits Club. The angle might be a little off. I have a new stand because I left my other one behind someplace, and this was the closest replacement I could find. They don't make stands that fit my exact size of tablet as standard. They're all made to fit slightly smaller tablets.
Yours is ridiculous if you
Because the big ones are apparently not as popular and not as common. So we have this, and we're gonna make it work. And so far, it's working. Everyone out there's like, get to the point. We don't notice any difference.
Day.
In the grocery store today, I was picking up some essentials, some milk and things of that nature, and cheese for the child. And I popped in to the liquor area because, of course, here in Ohio, there's usually a segregated little area where you have to go in and out of. I don't know if people are familiar. I don't know if I've talked about it here. Not every single store in Ohio does this, but isn't a liquor store specifically. But if you're a grocery store, they have an area that's more secure than the other places, so they can watch who comes in and out so that things don't get stolen. And so minors don't get in there and try to grab things. So I was in the little area, and I found a deal. Pretty good deal. What is it first before I get into why it's a deal? It's Clermont Steep, American single malt whiskey. Whiskey. That's not what it is. It's American single malt whiskey.
He hasn't had any yet, in case you're wondering.
I haven't. I must be just so excited that I'm getting a contact buzz from it already from it being in hand. It is 40% alcohol by volume, so 94 proof. It is distilled and bottled by James B. Beam Distilling Company, which is, of course, Jim Beam, in Clermont, Kentucky. It says on the back, it's got 4 categories. It says grain, 100% hand-selected malted barley, which is already a plus, because barley is a good place to start out. Fermentation, heirloom jug yeast recipe. The jug yeast is in quotes. I don't know about yeasts as far as they go, so...
They're heirlooms, so they're really old.
Aged 60 months in New American Oak, which is, what, 5 years?
It is.
Yeah,
I
5
said, why
years.
didn't they just say 5 years?
Because it sounds more impressive. It's 60 months.
No.
Notes, warm toasted grain, hints of caramel. So I'm interested. It's got a nice color to it here in the bottle. Nice rosy, reddish kind of color.
And the bottle is pretty.
It's actually textured, all of this. This is all kind of raised up and embossed a little bit. So it's nice. Like you can, it's not just flat on the label. So that's nice.
I was disappointed because he showed me the bottle. And since I am a tea drinker, I instantly thought, oh, it's been steeped with tea and it's going to be a tea whiskey, like a whisk tea. And it is not. There's no tea involved at all. But you can put some in tea. You can brew a nice cup of tea and then put some whiskey in it. But it's not that kind of steep. Maybe it's like a mountain is steep.
The other thing about this, and why was this a deal? I'll tell you what. I don't have the actual most accurate price of what this might be supposed to go for, because the store, they'll come and go with new products, and they'll get rid of things that either they only had a limited amount or that they didn't sell a whole lot of. Maybe they were too expensive, and they'll mark them down to get rid of them, to move them. Usually it's based on whatever the state of Ohio, the Ohio Liquor Board, they have a group of people that just makes these all decisions. And they say, okay, we're getting rid of all of these from our stores, unless it's like a certified liquor store or something, right? There's a lot of rules to it. But this was in an area of stuff that they're like, last chance, buy it before it's gone. Once it's gone, it's gone. And it was advertised as $20 off and on sale for $29.99. Sounds pretty good. I didn't initially remember how much I paid for it, so I looked online to see what the price was, and most people are selling it for around $69.99, which is pretty good for, $29.99 for a $70 bottle. I'm not going to complain about that. I'm not going to tell you that you can get it for that price, though, because, again, this was Ohio clearing its shelves of some things. So if you can, and you're in my part of Ohio, you might be able to find it. You might be able to find it at your local grocery stores for the low price of $29.99, or maybe cheaper. Who knows? Different stores have different prices. And again, the laws are complicated for stuff in Ohio as far as getting rid of things or stocking things, because liquor stores that are standalone liquor stores have different rules than the grocery stores that have liquor stores in them, right? It doesn't make sense, but apparently somebody in the Ohio government decided that, and it makes sense to them.
You might not have lived here at the time, but a long time ago, grocery stores were not even allowed to sell liquor on Sundays or like after 7 p.m. and it was really weird.
That's new, actually, the Sundays thing. That got changed during the virus years because people wanted to drink more because of various reasons.
No, I thought you were buying stuff on Sunday for a while, just not at certain stores.
Nope, for the most part, there was still nothing on Sunday, and then they changed the law during that time span, about within a 3-year time span. They also changed being able to go alcohol, like if you go to a restaurant and you had to be out on the patio because you couldn't be inside because you had to be in the open air, you could order alcohol mixed drinks and then take them home, which normally before that you could not. You had to finish them on the premises. You could not take them because they didn't want you to drive with them and they didn't want you to get in trouble with them. So that was new too. A lot of things have changed. So a lot of things have changed. But enough about that. Let's pop open the cork.
Yes.
And see about the main event here. That's a nice pop. Looks like a synthetic cork.
Yes, which I prefer.
Smells interesting. Smells a little bit like Jim Beam. Smells a little bit like a Jim Beam, Jack Daniels kind of. Ooh, there's some nail polish remover in there.
No, don't
a little bit.
That. I was so
There's some
excited.
caramelly, brown, sugary kind of scents in there too. I think that might be just the initial fume, because sometimes it's been bottled for a while, it's been sitting there, and that first burst of just scent that comes out is the alcohol smell.
Yeah, we gotta swirl it, and then like.
It does smell like something that would be really good mixed with a Coke. So.
Or a tea.
That could be a bad sign, but we're gonna see. We're gonna pour a generous amount in the glass there.
What? You got a much more generous amount than me. Excuse me. Thank you. That's better. That skimmed out on me.
The cork fits nice and tight in there, so that's good. And the top of it here is a nice textured bit too. It's interesting. It's like layers of hatching, sort of.
Ooh, it looks like a little geometric, like optical illusion.
Let's see how the smell is inside the glass here.
Oh, I don't get nail polish remover. That must have all come when you uncorked it.
There's a little bit of the fume still in there because I think my nose now can recognize it, but
a tiny bit of fume, but it's not that overall like strong, like brake clean.
It does smell like a Jim Beam, Jack Daniels kind of thing.
It almost to me smells a little bit like Crown Royal. It smells like it's gonna be sweet. I hope it's not gonna be too sweet.
It's a nice brown inside the glass, slightly less red, because that's usually what happens. The bottle's always kind of tinted because the glass in the bottles is thicker than what the glass is here, so you're getting different ways of the light on it. But let's give it a taste and see what we got.
Plancha.
Ooh, that's a burner.
That tastes like a Jack Daniels in that fashion.
It's a lot like a Jim Beam, Jack Daniels kind of fusion kind of thing. It's very much. It is definitely an American whiskey. It doesn't have the certain notes that you get from a bourbon, which all bourbon is American whiskey, but Not all American whiskey is bourbon. Of course, it's not the same back and forth.
Like squares and rectangles.
It's definitely got sharpness to it.
There's a sweet undertone, though. It's not sour like a mash or like a rye. It's very... But
you get a little bit almost like of a mild fruit coming in at the end there. I'm tempted to say it's kind of like not real banana, but, well, like a cross between an actual banana and the banana candy kind of taste without too much of the sugar. It's not overly sweet, but you get a little bit. It's kind of like the 1792.
no, I like the 1792.
Well, 1792 is better. I'll say that right off the bat. 1792 is better. I believe it's also a little cheaper.
Yeah.
Because it's in the neighborhood of like 40 something right now, I think.
Yeah, but to be fair, this was 29.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be 70. So I mean, we're going to look at it as if it was the more expensive. Would this be worth it at 70?
No.
That's kind of a tough outlook. I'm going to taste a little bit more.
Yeah, I'll have a second one,
But I'm thinking,
29 is the right price range for this fella, I think. Right? I'll try it again.
it's got some spice to it. Definitely has some spice. And it warms you right up. It's just, ooh. This could cause some heartburn if you drank it too fast. At least for me.
Yeah, but I feel like for all of its burniness, it doesn't have that burny, sour flavor that a lot, like the Jack Daniels has.
It doesn't have the numb, stabbing feeling you get from straight Jack Daniels. And it doesn't have, from straight Jim Beam, it doesn't have the more... Jim Beam's kind of difficult to peg because it's not flavorless, but it just tastes like itself, not like anything else.
I was just thinking, for all of its bite and it's a little bland. There's an underlying sweetness and there's a little bit of, but overall it's not super flavorful. I think it relies on the burn.
A little bit. It does remind me a ton of Jim Beam, which is probably...
It's made by Jim Beam.
Yeah. So a lot of their signature flavor is going to be in there.
I haven't had enough Jim Beam to recognize it because I've had it a few times, but it just wasn't like, oh, this is really good. I'll have some more.
Yeah, it has a distinctive flavor to it, but it's not something that's like... It's there to be Jim Beam more to be what it tastes like.
Do people generally mix it with things?
Well, you can get Beam and Coke and things like that, just like Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels and Jim Beam are not the same. I want people thinking that I'm saying that they taste exactly the same, but they're two kind of pillars of the American whiskey community that have a particular taste that once you taste it, you're like, yep, that's Jack Daniels, or yep, that's Jim Beam. And they're two of the biggest competitors on the market, despite being one's from Kentucky, one's from Tennessee. They're usually the ones that butt heads. If you want something that tastes like that, but you don't like Jack Daniels, you drink Jim Beam. If you want something that tastes like that, but you don't like Jim Beam, you drink Jack Daniels. They're different enough, but they're similar enough also.
Yeah.
People look at me crazy when I say that a lot of times, but when you do like a side by side, it's pretty clear.
You can tell that they're in the same family of whiskey types. Now, Jim Beam, to my knowledge, does not make barbecue sauce. So, Jack Daniels, while I do not enjoy their whiskey, I do greatly enjoy their barbecue sauce. So they get points for that. They get points for that. It's delicious.
Whistle Pig makes maple syrup.
What?
Sure do.
I know you like some maple syrup.
But, so this is interesting. This is it puts me in a bit of a spot because at $29.99,
it's okay.
It's pretty good for what it was supposed to be at $69.99. I don't think I'd be as impressed. I think for the overall effect, I think you'd be paying too much. And I get why it's priced more because it's a single malt. It's aged 5 years.
16 months.
So
Mm-hmm.
and it's 94 proof, and that combination of things is going to bump the price up a little bit. But
Didn't you say it's 40% alcohol?
47,
47. Okay, I misheard you, but
yeah, 47%.
because I was thinking, how does 40% end up being 94 proof? Someone did not do the math right on that label.
47.
So, okay, that's
The
better.
math was done by me because they just had the percentage on there, and you double the percentage, and that's what the proof is. So 45% is 90 proof, 40% is 80 proof.
I
et cetera,
misheard
et
you
cetera,
then.
et
I
cetera.
thought you said 40, and I thought they
Um,
had shenanigans.
No, 47%. 47% at 94 proof. Um,
The bottle is pretty.
yeah, it's a nice presentation. It's nice and clean looking. It
There's-
just,
They should have put some tea in it. That would have just made it. It would have more flavor. Because right now it's just meh whiskey flavor.
yeah, it doesn't stand out
No.
for being supposed to be $69.99. It tastes like a stronger, slightly less punchy Jim Beam. Which isn't bad. It's more interesting than standard Jim Beam, I'll say that, in my personal opinion.
I feel like it has a little bit of that Crown Royal sweetness undertone. So it's like if you mix Jim Beam and Crown, because it had a lot of Crown. It's not as overly sweet, but that's where but it's just like, it's okay.
Yeah, at $29.99, I'm not going to complain about it. I'm going to enjoy it at $29.99. It's not going to be my favorite. Will I go out of my way to hunt down another one before the prices go up?
No.
Probably not. But I'm enjoying it for what it is. I always like to find a good American single malt because you find a lot of bourbons, but you don't find a lot of American single malts in my area. You find a few, but not many. The gold standard for American single malt for me is the Cedar Ridge Quintessential, which is really good, but you can't find it around here. You have to order it. It's a $59.99 bottle. It's less than this, but you have to order it and pay for shipping, and that can get expensive. I've had a couple bottles of that in my lifetime. It's excellent stuff, but to get it here from Iowa, it's not feasible most of the time. Now Jack Daniels, I haven't seen it yet. I've been keeping my eyes peeled for it if it's going to be affordable. They have an American single malt coming out soon. Well, no, it's out now. I just haven't been able to find it. They have a couple of things. They've got the single barrel, and I've had those, and those are decent. But they have a single malt that I'd be really interested in comparing to their standard product. So it's getting to be a bit more common that some of these folks are getting into the single malt rather than just making an American whiskey or just making bourbon. But it's still kind of hard to find in this area. So anytime I find one that looks interesting, I'm kind of pleased and I'm interested in what it's going to be like. And even if this isn't something that wowed me by a ton, I'm glad I tried it because it is another thing that you can get in this country that's single malt, which typically you don't get. You usually have to go to the Scotches or the Irish whiskeys or things for the single malts.
The delicious Irish whiskey.
All of those are really good, by the way, which is why I'm always interested in new single malts because they're usually really, really good. Not all the time. Sometimes you can find some stinkers, but most of the time they're pretty darn good. So to get more of that here in the United States, yes, make some more. Even if they don't quite hit what I would want, I'm still going to try them. I'm still going to be glad I did.
And it's nice to support the breweries and to try new things. I like trying new things, but, I would have a couple glasses from this bottle, but I wouldn't say, hey, let's go get it again.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Like I said, I'm not going to go out of my way to try to hunt one down at the price. If I still see it on the shelf next time and it's the same price or cheaper because they're trying to move it out, I'll add it to the collection maybe and sip on it every now and again. But I can get other things in that price that I already know that I like.
Delicious things.
So, I'm not hurting for choices in that price range. So anyway, once again, it was Clermont Steep, American single malt whiskey, malted barley, It's all barley. It says on the little label there. So
So
there's
that
no
little
different
picture isn't a
mash
wheat
bill.
picture, it's a barley picture?
Yeah, that's a barley picture.
Mm.
Hand selected grain, small batch, 47% alcohol, 94 proof, and normally from across the web it says it's $69.99, but right now if you're in Ohio and you get lucky, you might be able to find it for $29.99. So don't take that as a guarantee and get mad at me when you can't find it for that. But that's it. I'm going to enjoy this and the rest of my evening, and I'll see you folks next time. So, as always,